The first story happened around 2006. I just got my job and only did some fundamental jobs, such like hosting some news and something about music. First time our hotline received a complaint from a taxi driver in the Suzhou train station. There are certain areas for taxi to pick up passengers. But in this place, a lot of taxi didn't line up, and there are entrapment taxi and some illegal taxi. So they believe the order is lost. So I have the impulse to check it out. And on one afternoon, I went there. Before the show began, an hour ago, I went to the location and saw the entrapment card and certain illegal taxi. But the situation was different from what the taxi driver had reported. It wasn't that serious. And it is said that the time I went there was wrong. At that time, there wasn't lots of cars, vehicles. However, this situation represents the first impression of Suzhou in the eyes of tourists from other places. So in the second day, I went there in the break of dawn. I wanted to use the whole day to see what it was really about. After days of observation, I found out those taxi drivers were very professional. They knew which train will carry the largest amount of passengers, such as the train from Beijing or Lanzhou. And when they knew the Shanghai's passengers had arrived, and these people don't have lots of cases, they don't need taxi and they won't be there. And I reported the real situation, and I found out the situation was very severe. The problems were very obvious. I found out the police officer arrive at certain time and discard those illegal taxi. Because there are always some taxi drivers who didn't obey the rules. So the police officer should be in place, and I went there again. I wanted to insist for a month. I wanted to see the changes. At that time, there was certain secret interview or secret investigation, but I was too obvious. People always recognize me. In the sixth day, and certain police officer found me and asked me for tea, just so to get me away. And those police officers told me, you should understand our hardship. We don't have enough officers, and we have too heavy workload. After about a month, I finished my investigation, because whenever I go, the police officer will organize the vehicles and the situation will be good, and there's no point for me to went there anymore. So, and the situation nowadays is better than what it was 10 years ago. And this is the first story.